Tell me that you don't know nothing about the Gnostic by telling me that you know absolutely nothing about the Gnostics. Your description here, sir, is completely inaccurate concerning what Gnostic Christians were like during the 4th century AD. Let me go over your statement. You said the Gnostics were pagan worshippers who took the ideas of Christianity and changed them to conform to their lifestyle. First of all, the word pagan is something that was attributed as from the Catholic Church as well as the Church of Rome in order to distinguish between those who were Christian and those who were non-Christian. So anybody who was not Christian were considered pagans. Now, many of your attributes of Christianity are filled with pagan iconography, but that goes without saying the least. So mostly you can say that your people, the Christian church, is actually pagan within itself. Gnostics actually believed in a Jesus that was talking about a different God than the Old Testament God, but still talking about the same God that Jesus was supposedly worshiping or was from. Now, the Gnostics did not believe that Jesus was God, but thought that he was a created being that was more divine than other beings, but not one with God. This is where you really start to lose yourself in trying to understand who the Gnostics were. You then say that these pagans changed to conform their lifestyle, changed Christianity to conform to their lifestyle. They lived and misused people's worship, false gods, and made pagan sacrifices, and then attended the Council of Nicaea in 325 in Rome, when the Emperor Constantine brought people together to create the cult of Catholicism. Well, there were multiple forces and multiple people who were in worship and practicing some version of Christianity. Much like today, how you have different denominations of Christianity, you've always had different denominations of Christianity. At this time frame, the Gnostics were one of those groups. Now, historically, you are misled and misunderstanding how things actually happened. When Emperor Constantine saw that the different variations of Christianity was bringing about infrastructure failure as far as the community and the morale among the Roman Empire, and saw all the infighting that these different Christian denominations were involved in. And in doing so, he decided that Christianity needed to be organized. He was not trying to establish Christianity because he was not Christian, but Christianity needed to be organized. What we can see from Hadrian's Wall, we see that Constantine had Christians in his army when he went and fought Maxentius at the battle at the Moldavian Bridge. In that battle, both had Christians, but they had Romanized, Hellenized Christians in their army. Maxentius actually had more of them. So upon completing the task of reunifying the Roman Empire, he courted those Greco-Roman Christians, those bishops, to establish Christianity as first a legal religion within the Roman Empire at 318 at the Edict of Milan. Then thereafter in 325, when the edict wasn't enough to suffice, he called for an organizing of Christianity under the Orthodoxy. The Gnostics were not so much invited to this event. Only one group of about 16 Gnostics showed up under Arius from Alexandria. Arius was wholly against the idea of the Trinity. They were not making sacrifices to other deity. As a matter of fact, Gnostics were not making sacrifices at all. They did not believe in blood sacrifices or animal sacrifices. They believed that you obtain your God spiritualness through knowledge, through gnosis, is what they believed and what they taught. There's absolutely zero evidence that Gnostics participated in any kind of sacrificing or worshiping of other deities. They acknowledged that the creator of this existence was the demiurge, a being from God that was created by the God, but then that God created the material world and he was an evil God, but that Yahuwah was talking about a higher God that even created it through the efforts of the Sophia. The Sophia being the feminine energy of the creation. So this is not the worship of multiple deities or anything, but what they were not willing to do was to add Jesus as a part of a Trinity. And so Arius and about 16 other Gnostics showed up compared to the 318 plus that were there. And it came down to a point where Arius, in his defending of non-homoousis of Jesus, the Holy Spirit and God, three in one, that Jerome literally got up, slapped the taste out of his mouth, was in prison, put in jail, but then claimed that he had a visitation by Jesus. And Jesus showed him the error of his ways. It was a miracle. And he became Saint Jerome. He was allowed back in, and under a heavy hand, as Arius wrote, he signed the creed of the Creed of Nicaea, the Nicene Creed. So the Gnostics did not pollute Christianity. There were more Gnostics than there were non-Gnostics, but the Orthodox Christians won the Council of Nicaea by overwhelming numbers and with the support of the Roman military, and that formed the church. And then after that, you did not have a separation until you had Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, and that's when Catholicism really became a separate entity. So what is the true Christianity that you claim that you are supporting? So obviously, it is not Catholicism. It is not the Gnostics. I doubt if it's the Marcions or any other ancient group. Therefore, if you're following anything that came out of Protestantism, then you're following a version of Christianity that has its roots in Catholicism, but separated because they were paying indulgences and other things of that nature, because Martin Luther really just wanted to reform the church. He did not want to create a whole separate entity. So please enlighten us to this brand of Christianity that is true and concise, considering that there are 0 original documents to which any Bible has ever been translated from. So you have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.